Welcome to Smokey CNC Woodworks. I'm Brian, and today I was hoping to get to the shop to do a project. Unfortunately, we had a storm roll in a few days ago, and somebody's dog decided it was going to be taking up residence here. It's a 1-year-old puppy, probably, and the unfortunate thing is he's got a lot of pit bull in him. Well, we have a killer weenie dog that will not play well with others. So if somebody doesn't claim the big dog for long, unfortunately we'll have to take him to the shelter. I mean, there's more than one side to it. My insurance policy won't cover us if we have a pit bull at the house. I mean, that's just one of them things that, a lot of insurance companies have gone that way. So unfortunately, when I go out to the shop, this new dog sits outside the door and howls the entire time I'm inside the shop because it's lonely and scared. So I tried to go out there and cut something a while ago. It didn't work. So as you can see, I'm upstairs and he can hear something. He's not sure. And he's a beautiful dog, playful, but we just can't have him here. That's the unfortunate side of it. So with that said, I'm going to show you something else that I've been working on. The dog outside howling doesn't really affect me because I always have headphones on and I don't hear him anyway. But every time I tried to video and do any talking, that's all you heard, because he'd get right outside the window wherever I was at in my shop and just howl away. So we'll try something different. I've recently got a new toy, been working on it for a while, and I'm just about there, and I really wasn't wanting to unveil it until I had it going right. But the way things have worked out, I guess we're going to look at it today, and then maybe later I can show it in action. So what I've bought is a K40 Laser. We'll flip you around here. This is a K40 Laser, and I don't know if you've heard about them. They're on, you can get them on eBay, Amazon. I got mine off Amazon. It is a CNC laser cutter. You can see this is released. You have X, Y, and Z axis. I don't have it up and running yet because during the shipping the lasers got offline. So that's what I was actually up here today after I couldn't work in the shop. I was going to go ahead and try to zero my laser up, see if I could get it lined up and get it working. It all works as far as X, Y, and Z. I got the computer operating it. And so yeah, I have the computer operating it. The software I use, I've got it running. And I'm hoping to show you this simply because it's going to be a cheaper alternative to CNC. This whole machine, the whole setup where I'm at, I'm about $500. Maybe actually a little under. They ship from China or Japan, and they're not put together like a industrial machine, like one you would buy, that a big 4-foot table that'd be $4,000 or $5,000. But for our purposes, it's going to be great. This is actually going to be more for my wife. We're in her crafts room in my house right now, and she's wanting to do a lot of different things with it, some small craft stuff, some leather work with it, because it'll do some engraving and it'll actually cut the leather out. It'll be a very useful tool once I get it going. Okay, so I'm going to try to run over it real quick, give you just kind of a quick overview of the machine itself. We'll just flip her around here. I do have it powered up. So, you can see it zeroes itself. The laser will work. Mirrors just aren't aligned, so I can't show you that part of it. Like I said, this is a pretty simple little thing. This is actually a little board I was going to cut on. It comes with its own clamping system. You can slide it in there. Everything I've read says don't even mess with that, that it's not worth your time, because since this isn't an actual router, whenever it's coming along here cutting, the material's not moving, it's just burning it. So that's not something I'm worried about right now. If it becomes an issue, we'll deal with that when it happens. Like I said, this isn't like a real expensive machine. You can see the hardware. There's one of the boards. There's a board down below, and there's a board against the wall. Don't know that much about them. Didn't put this one together. I showed you the laser tube a while ago, and fairly simple system. It's a CO2 laser that fires along this tube, hits the laser, reflects to this mirror, reflects, and then in turn burns the surface of whatever you're working on. It comes with an exhaust fan, which is what this mesh back here you see. I've simply made a board right here that I can pick up, put in my window, shut the window down on top of it. It exhausts my fumes outside. And then the next thing that I was a little leery about, you see these two hoses here. That is a water pump that is down here in a bucket of water. It cycles water up through that glass tube around the laser coil and back down, keeps it cooled off. I've ran it, seems to run good. Beyond that, I mean, I'm hoping all that stuff works well, because I don't like introducing water into any of this, but it's what it's called for. So right there you'll see that there's the orange plexiglass is there. It's supposed to stop laser beams from coming through it. And so even though that might stop the laser beams coming through, what I have read about these kind of lasers, that just one good reflection back into your eye, blind. So maybe I'm being too safe with it, but I'm not going to trust the little plexiglass that sits in the roof of it. So I got on internet, located some laser proof glasses. These are actual glass, and you can see the weird colors that to it. When I put them on, they're kind of a greenish tint maybe, but they are supposed to stop this wavelength of laser. And like I said, this is going to be a very cheap alternative to CNC. It does some really cool work. It'll do really small, intricate, detailed stuff. And the really cool part is, well, I say it's the really cool part, but the machine comes with software. But everything I've read about, I've watched YouTube videos, I've done a bunch of research on it, and there's some freeware out there that works great. It's by a company called Worktunes. It's called K40 Whisperer. And then you go over, and for your graphic stuff, you go to Inkscape, which is also freeware. Download them, load them up, and they run the machine. So that's the beauty of this one, is the software's cost me nothing on this. And I'm just going to be out the time and the little bit of money to get this thing up and running, but it should be a very useful tool. Okay, so this is K40 Whisperer. It's a very basic program. This is the control software. You open up your design, it comes into this panel here. You initialize the laser. You can open design files from here that will pick up from Inkscape. And this is jog. This is your general tools just to move the head of the machine around. Okay, then we've got raster engrave, vector engrave, and vector cut. Okay, so raster engrave. Raster engrave basically means the laser is going to get up and sit there and just go back and forth real fast and cover in, burn in a solid object. I mean, it's going to burn in a solid area, so it's going to darken a great big area by sitting there going back and forth. The vector engrave, you can see right there below it, and vector cut. Vector engrave is going to be where I've put the outline of something on the computer, and it's going to cut right along that line. It'll sit there and just pulse, and the laser will burn in a little line all the way around it. The vector cut is much the same thing. It moves much slower, and if your material is not super thick, I don't know the exact thickness yet of what I can do, but I know you can change the intensity of the laser and make it burn hotter, go deeper, and stuff like real thin leather, real thin wood. it'll sit there and also trace that outline or a box around it or whatever kind of line you've got around it, and will actually cut out whatever you're doing, which, great feature, just not there yet. Okay, so what we're looking at here is Inkscape. This is also freeware. Unfortunately, don't know a ton about it. I've played with it a little bit, done some drawing on it. I've actually drawn up a pattern for my wife to cut. I mean, it has preset patterns in it. You can come over here and create stars, and circles, ovals. It's got lettering in it. Basically, it has all the same tools that the my larger software has, just not quite as user-friendly. Many of the controls are a little harder to use and understand, which is understood. I mean, it's free. I'm not griping about that at all. What I do hope is to figure out how to integrate my software with this software and make it to where I can do the artwork on my big program and send it over here. That would be awesome. But I'm not there yet, and hopefully I will be. So guys, that's about it. Like I said, I mean, I'm not going to make this a real long video. I can't go deep into this yet because I really don't understand it all yet. I'm still trying to get it up and running and working correctly, and hopefully soon I'll have it there. I'll give you just a brief overview of this. I hope to get in depth with it, and I mean, this is something that I really think down the road, people that are really wanting to get into CNC, this would be a good jump off point. I mean, $500 in the CNC world is not much money, and granted, $500 is a bunch of money to me, but when it comes to this stuff, very inexpensive. If this thing works like we think it's going to, takes up maybe 4 square feet. I mean, it's very small. You could tuck this thing in a corner and pull it out when you want to play with it. It is on wheels. I have it mounted on a table that I built for it, so ours isn't going to be toted around. It's going to sit right here so I can exhaust out the window. Okay guys, that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully by the time I do my next video, we'll have the whole dog situation taken away. We hate to take him to a shelter, but it just doesn't work here. Between insurance and the killer weenie dog you saw earlier, I mean, we just can't have him. So hopefully next time he's gone, and we'll have this up and running before long, and not necessarily going to be my next video. I've got some stuff lined up to cut on the CNC. Was hoping to do it today, and you know, things happen. So that's it for this one, guys. If y'all haven't done so yet, please subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.